Hello friends, I'm sorry for the delay between videos due to scheduling conflicts. I'll be making shorter videos at this time and will do some compilations until I have more time in my schedule to dedicate to the standards I want for my videos. The stories in my shorter videos I plan to elaborate more on in future videos. This video is not suitable for all viewers due to frightening content and mentions of suicide in the fifth story. Viewer discretion is advised. Now, let's get into the stories. From the mid-1700s until 1814, Poveglia Island in Italy was a quarantine location for bubonic plague victims where 160,000 victims died in the streets and were buried in a mass grave. The island is located in the Venetian lagoon between Venice and Lido. Criminals were also routinely drowned on the island. Poveglia was later turned into a mental hospital. The sadistic doctor running the asylum conducted inhumane experiments on the patients. He later threw himself to his death from the bell tower when he was driven mad by ghosts. The island was abandoned altogether afterwards in 1968. People still claim to hear the bell tower ringing, despite the bell tower being removed long ago. It is also illegal to visit the island without permission. However, to those curious, a glimpse of the island can be seen in Lido. Isla de las Muñecas, or the Island of the Dolls, is one of the most haunted places in the world. This small island 2 hours south of Mexico City is a frightening place. There are two versions of the origins of the Island of the Dolls. The first version is the widely spread version known worldwide. In this version, the dolls perched and nailed onto the island's trees are said to be housed by the spirit of a little girl. According to legend, the island's caretaker, Don Julian Santana Barrera, found a girl who drowned in mysterious circumstances. Don Julian discovered a doll floating in the water, which he hung on a tree to appease the drowned girl's spirit. However, this show of respect did not work, and the drowned girl's spirit continued to haunt Don Julian, causing him to hang more and more dolls in order to temper her anger. Sometimes, tourists say they even see the dolls move their heads and whisper among each other. In 2001, Don Julian's nephew came to the island to help his uncle. Don Julian told his nephew that the girl wanted him to join her as a playmate in the afterlife. The nephew left briefly and upon his return found Don Julian lifeless and face down in the canal in the same spot where the girl was said to have drowned. Tourists claim that they can see the dolls move their eyes or heads and can hear whispering and laughter. In the second version, reported as factual by Don Julian's nephew, 3 young women in their 20s were swimming by the island when one of them drowned next to the island. There is a red cross in front of the area where she drowned. In order to keep her spirit away from the island, Don Julian brought dolls from other canals and the trash to put up on the island. He only put up about 30% of the dolls on the island, and tourists who came to the island started putting up dolls themselves around the island. Many years later, Don Julian died by the Red Cross where he had a heart attack and fell into the water, roughly the same spot where the young woman died. The government shut down tourism to the island, and there are fake doll islands closer to Mexico City, so locals don't have to travel as far to the real doll island. One of the fake doll islands is about 30 minutes away, and tourists who spent a good amount of money and don't know about the fake doll islands are unknowingly taken there instead. As the most haunted castle in Scotland, Edinburgh Castle has played a significant role in Scottish history. The castle was built in the 12th century and has been inhabited since the Iron Age. It has been a home to royalty, served as a military stronghold, and was even a prison. Now, it's a popular tourist attraction for those interested in its rich history or for paranormal lovers hoping to see ghosts or experience strange occurrences. One of the most famous ghosts at Edinburgh Castle is the Piper. Legend has it that a piper was sent to explore the tunnels beneath the castle and was never seen again. Visitors have reported hearing the sound of a lone bagpipe coming from the tunnels, even though there has been no piper there for centuries. Another ghost that is said to haunt Edinburgh Castle is the headless drummer. It is said that he was executed for either falling asleep on duty during a battle or as a spy, and now his ghost can be heard drumming through the castle. This ghost is said to haunt the castle's dungeons, where he was imprisoned and was sentenced to death by beheading. Before his execution, he requested to play his drum one last time. As he played, the executioner swung his sword, but missed and only severed the drummer's head partially. The ghost is said to carry his head under his arm and roam the castle in search of his lost drumsticks. Visitors have reported hearing the sounds of a drum being played, followed by the appearance of a headless figure. Edinburgh Castle offers ghost tours for visitors. The tours take place at night and are led by knowledgeable guides. Visitors will hear spooky stories and legends about the castle's haunted history. The tour includes access to areas of the castle not open to the general public. The Catacombs of Paris is believed to be one of the most haunted places in the world, as well as the largest grave on record. It was opened in the 18th century to resolve overcrowding in the cemeteries from the bubonic plague. The underground labyrinth is home to the remains of about 6 million people. Visitors have been known to get lost in the catacombs, such as Philibert Aspierre, who vanished in 1793 while mapping the catacombs and wasn't found until 1804. His remains were discovered a few feet from an exit. Visitors to the Paris catacombs regularly report seeing apparitions, hearing disembodied voices coming from the walls, witnessing strange orbs and spectral lights, and being touched only to find no one when they turn around. Aokigahara is a forest that lies at the base of Mount Fuji, less than 100 miles west of Tokyo. It is also known as Sea of Trees because of its very high density of trees. It is sought after by tourists because there are 2 caves located there, the Ice Cave and the Wind Cave. It is a unique forest in many ways. There is barely any wildlife and thus is very quiet, making it a popular destination among locals. However, this quietness hides a darker side, as the Aokigahara is a #1 suicide spot for Japanese and is also called Suicide Forest. Its quietness has attracted people to consider it haunted by ghosts, or yurei, and demons, and there are plenty of Japanese who would not dare to enter the forest. This resulted in even more myths surrounding Aokigahara and vengeful spirits. There are signs upon entering in both Japanese and English, preventing people against suicide. One sign at the entrance reads, "Your life is something precious that was given to you by your parents," while another one states, "Meditate on your parents, siblings, and your children once more. Do not be troubled alone." The exact number of suicides committed there in a year is unknown, as the police discontinued publishing this data. The last time it was made public was in 2003, when 105 confirmed suicides took place. It is believed that more people die here annually, but their corpses are never found in the thick forest. It is difficult to make a profile of the average person who commits suicide in the forest, but they are usually males between 40 and 50 years old, and the biggest month for suicides is March, possibly because March is the end of the fiscal year in Japan. So many people come from all over Japan to end their stressful lives there as they feel it is the perfect location to breathe their last breath. It is baffling why there is such a high rate in the country, but it has something to do with the Japanese psyche and that many Japanese men feel rejected when entrenched. Some of them have held important positions in their respective companies, including that of chief executive officers. Unable to face their families and loved ones, they perhaps, in a manner of samurai warriors of the past, felt that suicide is one way to atone for their failures. The Aokigahara has not always attracted hundreds of people wishing to end their lives. While there is some evidence that suggests that as far as the 19th century, it was a place where Japanese carried their elders to die of starvation, a practice called ubasut. It became popular after the 1960s when a novel called Tower of Waves was published. In this novel, a couple commits suicide in the Aokigahara forest. Another book from 1993, The Complete Manual of Suicide, added to the fuel and increased suicide rates. The author described Aokigahara as a perfect place to commit suicide and even described which parts of the forest are less circulated so the bodies cannot be found later on. An annual body sweep is organized before the holiday season in which the found dead bodies are removed and, where possible, identified. Thank you, friends, for joining me today. If you enjoyed the stories on this episode, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to be alerted to all future content. If you have a story you would like me to read, feel free to email me your submission for a chance to hear your story on a future episode. If you would like to support this channel, please join for bonus and members-only content. Thank you again, friends, for your love and support. I'm Avarea, and until next time, take care.